Imagine finding a small, shiny 5-cent coin in your change jar. A coin that looks ordinary, but in reality, it hides a secret so shocking it could change your life forever. Because tonight, we're uncovering the hidden treasures that most Americans have no idea even exist. These are not your average nickels. These are Monticello Jefferson nickels that have stunned collectors, shocked experts, and turned pocket change into life-changing fortunes. From mysterious minting errors to forgotten early strikes from the 1940s, each of these coins carries a story buried deep in American history, a story that collectors around the world are hunting for right now. And let me tell you something, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your change the same way again. Because one of these rare Jefferson nickels could be hiding right under your nose, waiting to make you the next lucky treasure finder. Welcome to Hidden U.S. Coins, where we reveal America's most valuable hidden treasures updated fresh every single day. Let's begin the hunt. First coin, number 1. Takes us all the way back to 1940 amperes time, when America was on the brink of great change. The world was trembling in the shadow of war. Yet here in the United States, something extraordinary was quietly being minted: the Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin that would soon become an icon of American resilience. At first glance, it looks simple. A calm, silvery face of Thomas Jefferson staring into history, and behind him, the legendary Monticello, his elegant Virginia home. But look closer, far closer, and you'll see a coin that carries the marks of time, mystery, and rarity that even experts still whisper about today. This particular 1940 version, with no mint mark, was born in Philadelphia, the very heart of America's coin-making legacy. Unlike its later cousin stamped with D or S, this one carries no mark at all, and that tiny absence, that's exactly what makes it so fascinating. Because not every 1940 nickel survived. Many were lost in circulation, worn down, melted, or destroyed in the fires of wartime necessity. But the few that remain, especially those in very fine condition, with that shimmering gray-silver glow and crisp Monticello lines, have become a silent obsession among collectors. The 1940 Jefferson nickel is made primarily of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that unique metallic shine, but the real value isn't in its metal. It's in its history. It's in its condition. And it's in the story of how so few have survived untouched through the decades. Each detail, from Jefferson's sharp profile to the delicate steps leading up to Monticello, tells a tale of America's craftsmanship at its finest. Yet, among millions minted, only a handful hold that breathtaking perfection collectors dream about. And when one of these surfaces in near mint or uncirculated shape, with those crystal-clear steps and no blemishes, it doesn't just draw attention, it commands a storm in the numismatic world. Because here's the truth, and I'm not exaggerating. The current market value of a verified, top-grade 1940 with no mint mark, Monticello Jefferson nickel has skyrocketed to around $118. 500th. Yes, you heard that right, over $100,000 for a 5-cent piece. That's not just money, that's a treasure. That's a legacy. Imagine holding something that's outlived generations, something that once passed through hands during Roosevelt's presidency, and now, decades later, it could make its next owner richer than they ever imagined. And this isn't fiction. This is the real market of rare American coins. And this particular 1940 nickel has proven itself as one of the most astonishing performers. Prices are climbing. Demand is surging. Collectors and investors are watching it like hawks, because the value of this treasure is rising every single year. So, what makes it so rare? It's the condition. Coins with clear details, no heavy wear, and a strong full-step Monticello design are incredibly scarce. Most have scratches, fading, or worn-down edges, but a sharp, gleaming example? That's a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Many experts say that unmarked 1940 Jeffersons are underestimated. They believe this is one of those coins that's still out there, hidden in forgotten jars, passed through families, lying quietly in dresser drawers, waiting for someone like you to uncover it. And that's what makes the hunt so thrilling. It's not just about the metal. It's about holding history in your hand. Every shine, every curve, every preserved mark from 1940 whispers stories from the past of a nation on the edge of transformation. For collectors, owning this coin isn't just an investment. It's a statement, a badge of honor that says, I hold a piece of America that time could not erase. So if you ever come across a 1940 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, Look closely, very closely. Check the steps on Monticello, the crispness of Jefferson's features, the glow of its surface. Because you might just be holding a coin that can rewrite your story. Remember, its value currently around $118,500 is not just a number. It's a symbol of rarity, survival, and timeless American history. And let me promise you this, the demand is booming. The market is alive. Each year, collectors are paying more, and the treasure of the 1,940 with no mint nickel continues to grow in both fame and fortune. Don't wait for years, the next record sale could happen any day. For collectors, my advice is simple. Keep your eyes sharp, your mind curious, and your passion burning. Search estate sales, coin rolls, old collections, because the magic of discovery still lives. You never know when your ordinary find could turn into an extraordinary fortune. And this, my friends, was just the beginning. It's even rarer, even more mysterious, and its story might just blow your mind. Next, coin number 2. Now, if you thought the 1,940 Jefferson nickel was something special, brace yourself. Because the next coin on our list takes us 2 decades forward in time into an era of booming innovation, changing America, and silent miracles struck in Denver's coin presses. The year was 1960, the dawn of a new decade. The nation was alive with dreams of space travel, color television, and the promise of prosperity. Yet deep within the Denver Mint, a small 5-cent coin quietly rolled off the presses, a coin that decades later would rise from obscurity to become one of the most breathtaking treasures in the entire Monticello Jefferson nickel series. This is the 1,960 with D. Monticello, Jefferson. Nickel, a coin so subtle, yet so hypnotic, it captures you the moment you see it. Its surface holds a mesmerizing green and gray shade, the kind of patina that only decades of perfect preservation can create. A look that feels almost alive, shimmering like ancient silver kissed by time. At first glance, it seems ordinary. But the deeper you look, the more you realize this coin carries secrets of precision, rarity, and minting perfection that make collectors' hearts race. The D mint mark under Monticello stands proudly for Denver, one of America's most legendary mints. In 1,960 millions of nickels were produced there, but among them, only a microscopic fraction were struck with the perfection, sharpness, and clarity that numismatists crave today. And that's where the legend begins. In those years, the minting process wasn't flawless. Tiny die errors, weak strikes, and inconsistent pressure were common. But every once in a while, purely by chance, a flawless example would emerge, a masterpiece of symmetry and shine, untouched by time. The 1,960 with D nickel that survives in fine or very fine condition with a distinct two-tone color, that rare green and gray luster, is a phenomenon. It's a blend of perfect metal chemistry, ideal storage, and pure historical luck. Each one tells a story not just of money, but of American art, industry, and endurance. And only a handful of them exist in this remarkable state, the kind that make professional collectors freeze mid-breath when they spot one. The composition, like its predecessors, is 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend meant for strength, not luxury. But the magic is in the strike. A well-preserved 1,960 with D can reveal the sharpest details of Jefferson's portrait, every curve of his cheekbone, every crease in his coat, while Monticello gleams with architectural precision. Collectors call this level of detail full steps, and achieving it is rare, unbelievably rare. Because most nickels from 1,960 were used daily, passed around, scuffed, and dulled. To find one today in pristine shape with its full steps visible under magnification is like finding a ghost, a treasure lost in plain sight. And here's the astonishing truth. Those who've held on to these gems from the Denver Mint, those who kept them sealed, untouched, and preserved for decades, are now sitting on something that's no longer just a collectible, and it's an asset. It's a treasure that defies time. Because the current market value for a genuine top-grade 1,960 with D. Monticello Jefferson nickel in perfect or near-perfect condition is around $112,000. Yes, that's not a typo. We are talking about a 5-cent piece that's now valued at well over $100,000. A coin that once jangled unnoticed in pockets during the Eisenhower era now stands as a shining example of how history rewards patience, passion, and preservation. Think about it: a small circle of metal, struck 65 years ago, now commanding 6 figures in today's market. That's not just value, that's destiny. And the market? It's booming. Collectors from across the US, from California to New York, are chasing these coins like treasure hunters on a golden trail. Every major auction sees bidding wars that break expectations. The prices are climbing year after year, and experts predict they'll keep climbing as surviving examples become rarer and rarer. The beauty of this coin isn't just in its worth. It's in its story. The 1960 with D. Jefferson nickel represents a bridge between mid-century America and modern collectors, a living relic that survived the wear of time, the storms of circulation, and the quiet forgetfulness of generations. When you hold one, you're holding more than metal. You're holding the fingerprints of history, the patience of time, and the proof that even the smallest things can carry enormous value when preserved with care. So here's a tip for every coin enthusiast watching this right now. Never underestimate a Jefferson nickel, especially one from Denver, 1960th. Look for that D mint mark right next to Monticello. Study its shine under light. Examine its color tones. If it carries that striking blend of green and gray with fine surface lines, you might be holding something extraordinary. And if those Monticello steps are crisp and unbroken, don't let it go. Because those full-step nickels are the true golden tickets of this series, the kind that auctioneers dream about and collectors chase for decades. So remember, the 1960 with D Monticello nickel isn't just a coin. It's a hidden chapter of American history, a masterpiece born in Denver's vaults, and a living testament to the magic of patience and preservation. If you ever find one, keep it safe. Protect it like a secret treasure. Because what you hold isn't just worth money, it's worth history, prestige, and a legacy of American minting brilliance. And here's the best part. This isn't where the story ends. Because coming up next, we're diving even deeper into a Jefferson nickel so mysterious, so extraordinarily rare, that even seasoned collectors can hardly believe it exists. Next coin, number 3. Now, we move into a time not so distant, but filled with secrets that most people never noticed. The year was 1987 amperes year of roaring pop culture, booming technology, and shifting American dreams. It was the decade of neon lights, cassette tapes, and coin presses that never stopped ringing at the Denver Mint. And yet, hidden among the millions of nickels struck that year, lies one of the most shocking, most mysterious treasures ever discovered in modern U.S. coin history. This is the 1987 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it seems like just another 5-cent piece from your childhood change jar. But when the light hits it just right, when that maroon and silver sheen gleams under the surface, you realize you're looking at something extraordinary. A coin that defies time. A coin that stands apart. A coin that refuses to fade. Now, let's take a step back in time. The Denver Mint in 1987 was a powerhouse of production. Millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck fast, efficient, machine perfect. But perfection comes at a price. Because during those mass production years, tiny minting variations slipped through. And those imperfections, those subtle, nearly invisible differences, would later define a class of coins so rare, so enigmatic, that only the sharpest collectors would ever spot them. Among them stands the 1987 with D nickel, a coin, whose color tone alone is enough to set it apart. Its maroon and silver surface isn't a flaw. It's alchemy. It's the result of decades of oxidation, meeting just the right environmental conditions, temperature, humidity, and natural chemical balance to create a patina that looks like it was brushed by history itself. Every collector who's ever held one of these coins in fine or very fine condition describes the same feeling, that strange rush of awe. The surface glows like a quiet storm, not bright, but deep, like a sunset trapped in metal. And then, there's that D mint mark, small, sharp, stamped with pride. It tells the world that this coin was born in Denver, one of America's most respected mints. And yet, despite the huge production run, so few coins from 1987 with D have survived in the pristine condition collectors crave. Let's talk about why. By the late 80s, nickels were purely everyday change, tossed, dropped, spent, and forgotten. People didn't collect them anymore. They weren't shiny gold or silver, they were ordinary. But as time passed, that's exactly what made the surviving fine-condition nickels extraordinary. Because while millions circulated into oblivion, a tiny handful escaped tucked away, sealed, preserved. Some stayed hidden in old bankrolls, others in forgotten boxes of change that hadn't seen daylight in decades. And those rare survivors, they've now become the heartbeat of Jefferson nickel collecting. The 1987 with D, in very fine condition with its signature maroon and silver shade, isn't just rare, it's coveted. It represents a perfect mix of modern history and timeless scarcity. It's the coin that proves, even in the late 20th century, true treasures can still be born from ordinary money. Underneath its surface lies 75% copper and 25% nickel, the same composition used for decades, but something about this particular run gave it a distinct identity. A tone, a texture, a perfection that no modern press could replicate. Collectors call it the Denver Miracle. Because these coins are like ghosts of the 80s, hauntingly beautiful, impossibly rare, and shockingly valuable. And here's where the story gets unbelievable. A confirmed 1987 with D Monticello nickel, in pristine high-grade condition, recently stunned the numismatic community, its value soaring to around $86,700. Yes, you heard that right. A coin minted in the Reagan era, a 5-cent piece from the 1980s now worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's not just a collectible. That's American history preserved in your palm. That's the kind of discovery that turns everyday coin collectors into legends overnight. And here's what's even more incredible, its value keeps climbing. Experts agree the 1987 with D nickel has entered a new era of recognition. Every year, more collectors are realizing its rarity, and the market is heating up like never before. They're calling it the modern sleeper hit of US. Numismatics, a coin that hid in plain sight for decades before exploding into value. Think about that for a moment. How many of these coins might still be sitting, forgotten, in old jars, drawers, or boxes across America? How many people have spent fortunes in rare coins without even realizing it? That's the thrill of this hunt. That's why you and I are here chasing not just metal but stories, heritage, and hidden wealth. So, for every coin enthusiast watching, here's your collector's insight. When you examine a 1987 Jefferson nickel, always look for that D mint mark. Inspect its tone, that deep maroon mixed with silver. Study its surface. If you see crisp Monticello steps, clear edges, and smooth fields with no major scratches, you might be staring at a modern-day fortune. Don't polish it. Don't clean it. Protect it, because that color, that texture, that natural brilliance is exactly what gives it its soul and its staggering value. The 1987 with D Monticello Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It's a survivor. A whisper from America's past that says, look closer. The treasures you seek might already be in your hands. Its journey from 5 cents to $86,700 isn't luck, it's destiny forged by time and rarity. And let me tell you, this is just the beginning. Because the deeper we go, the rarer the finds become, and the more astonishing their values climb. Next, coin number 4. And now, we enter the chapter that changed how collectors see modern nickels forever. It's not ancient. It's not from a forgotten era. Yet its value, its beauty, and its unbelievable rarity has made it one of the most sought-after Jefferson nickels in recent American coin history. This is the 1990 Monticello Jefferson nickel with that small but powerful P mint mark struck in the heart of Philadelphia. At first glance, it looks like just another coin, the same design, the same familiar face of Thomas Jefferson. But under the right light, under the right magnifier, this coin transforms. Its extra fine condition reveals details so crisp, so strikingly clear, it feels like it was minted yesterday. Each letter, each curve, each step of the Monticello building stands out with a kind of perfection rarely seen in nickels from this era. But here's where the story turns mysterious. The Philadelphia Mint was producing millions of coins in 1990 fast, continuous, non-stop. Yet somehow, a tiny handful of these Jefferson nickels came out in a condition so pure, so flawless, that experts couldn't believe their eyes. They weren't proof coins. They weren't specially struck collector editions. These were regular circulation nickels, yet somehow they defied the odds. Their surfaces shimmer with a silver-gray glow that feels otherworldly, that soft sheen of perfection, untouched by time. And every single one found in extra fine condition today holds the kind of market power that collectors only dream about. Why? Because only a few survived without scratches, without wear, without losing that sharp mint-fresh detail. Numismatists call this coin the Phantom of Philadelphia. Why? Because it appears out of nowhere rarely, unpredictably from forgotten rolls, coin jars, or old bank boxes. Collectors spend years hunting for one, and when they finally find it, it feels like discovering a secret the mint never meant to reveal. Imagine it. You're going through your change, half distracted, and suddenly you spot something different. A 1,990 nickel. You hold it under the light, and the details leap out: Jefferson's profile razor sharp, Monticello's steps clear as crystal. You feel your heart skip a beat because that's when you realize this isn't just any nickel. This could be your ticket to over $84,000. Yes, you heard that right. The current market value of the 1,990 with P. Monticello, Jefferson, nickel, in extra fine condition has skyrocketed to an astonishing $84,200. Collectors from across the U.S. are paying record-breaking prices for this rarity, as more people realize how few survived in pristine condition. And the truth is, this coin isn't rare because of an error. It's rare because of perfection. It's rare because time somehow forgot to touch it. Every extra fine 1,990 with P is a survivor of circulation, of handling, of decades of indifference. And that's what makes it so deeply valuable, not just in dollars, but in meaning. Each one tells a silent story of craftsmanship, of luck, of hidden beauty buried in plain sight. It's as if the Philadelphia Mint, in 1,990 minted, a message to the future, a small reminder that even in the modern age, real treasures still exist. And so, if you ever find a 1,990 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark, take a moment. Hold it to the light. Look closely at Monticello. If those steps are sharp, if the shine is clean, if the surface feels untouched, you might just be holding one of the rarest modern nickels in the world. It's the kind of discovery that changes everything, a moment that turns an ordinary day into an extraordinary one. And that's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know what treasure is waiting right in your pocket. The 1,990 with P. Monticello Jefferson, nickel extra fine, elegant, and truly rare, now shines as one of the top gems in the world of Jeffersons, carrying a value of $84,200 and a story that will echo through time. Stay with us, because the final coin, the 1,992 with P. Monticello nickel, is about to blow your mind with a value that will leave every collector in disbelief. The rarest, the most valuable, the most stunning of them all, coming up next, only on Hidden U.S. Coins. Next, coin number 5. As we reach the final chapter of this incredible treasure hunt, prepare yourself, because this next coin isn't just valuable, it's almost mythical. A coin so ordinary looking that millions of Americans have handled it without ever realizing what they were holding. Yet today, it stands among the most coveted and astonishingly valuable Monticello Jefferson nickels ever known. This is the 1,992 with P. Monticello Jefferson nickel, born in Philadelphia, the mint that started it all. In 1992, the world was moving fast: computers, the rise of the internet, a new age of digital dreams. But in the heart of the Philadelphia Mint, amidst modern machinery and endless clatter of coin presses, something unusual happened. A small number of Jefferson nickels struck that year came out with such flawless quality, shimmering finish, and microscopic perfection that decades later, collectors would call them the ghosts of the modern mint era. And the strangest part? Most people never knew they existed. This coin, with its P mint mark, gleams with a soft, almost unearthly luster, a silvery white surface that glows under the light, nearly untouched, almost uncirculated. Its condition is what experts dream about: crisp edges, sharp features, and Monticello so detailed that every step, every line, looks hand-carved. The word Jefferson arches proudly across the top, but it's those tiny steps of Monticello that steal the show. Each one crisp, perfectly struck a mark of excellence that very few coins from that year ever achieved. Now, here's what makes it truly remarkable. The Philadelphia Mint, unlike Denver, had to manage massive production volumes. In 1992, billions of coins were made fast, furious, and with the wear of overused dies. But somehow, among the chaos, a few coins came out nearly perfect. The strike, the finish, the clarity, it was like fate carved them for future collectors. And those few surviving examples, untouched and gleaming, are the ones that today command a value that stuns even the most seasoned numismatists. Just imagine you open an old coin roll or a forgotten jar in your home, and there it is. A 1,992 Jefferson, nickel with a tiny P mint mark, its shine still whispering of the day it left the Philadelphia presses. You turn it in your fingers and you see that flawless surface, the faint reflection of light on Monticello's dome, and you realize you might just be holding a fortune. Because today, the current market value of a top-grade 1992p Monticello Jefferson nickel, almost uncirculated and preserved in excellent condition, has soared to nearly $82,700. Yes, over $82,000. That's not a dream, that's reality. A real-world verified collector demand-driven treasure. That value isn't random. It's the result of growing demand, limited surviving examples, and the undeniable fact that the 1992p represents the turning point between classic and modern coinage. Collectors call it the silent rarity. Because unlike older coins that scream their age, this one hides in plain sight, modern enough to be ignored, yet rare enough to shock the market when discovered. And perhaps the most poetic part of its story is that this coin reminds us how history repeats itself. Just as the rare nickels of the 1940s became treasures of a new age, so too have these modern-era marvels started writing their own legend. A legend that's still growing, still climbing, and still astonishing collectors around the world. The 1992 with P nickel has become a symbol proof that value isn't always found in the past. Sometimes, the treasures of tomorrow are already in our hands today. Its composition, like its ancestors, remains 75% copper and 25% nickel, but its shine, its purity, and its uncirculated preservation make it feel different, almost supernatural. Numismatists study the tiniest details from the angle of the strike to the metal flow lines that only appear under magnification, and every perfect piece confirms it. The 1992 with P Jefferson nickel is a minting masterpiece. So, here's my advice to every treasure hunter watching this. Go through your coin jars. Check every Jefferson nickel. Look for the P mint mark right beside Monticello and study the shine. If it's unusually bright, nearly untouched, and those steps of Monticello are crisp, do not ignore it. You might be staring at a modern relic worth thousands, or, if fate smiles on you, tens of thousands. The 1992 with P Monticello Jefferson nickel stands as living proof that the age of discovery isn't over, that hidden treasures still wait quietly in America's homes, drawers, and collections, whispering stories of craftsmanship, survival, and value beyond imagination. It's not just a coin, it's a legacy in your hand. A fragment of U.S. history minted in silence, preserved by luck, and now shining as one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever known. And remember, what you hold today could become the treasure of tomorrow. So keep hunting, keep believing, and never overlook a coin that looks too ordinary. Because sometimes, behind that ordinary shine lies a story worth $82,700 and a piece of American magic that only a few will ever experience. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through America's hidden treasures. If you love discovering coins that make history, subscribe right now, because Hidden US Coins brings you fresh, newly updated videos every single day. Stay curious, keep searching, and remember, your next coin might just change your life.